All right, little garden update, moving from the flower beds to the vegetable beds here. So the artichoke, right? It's got a couple artichokes on there. I might let those go to flower to see what they look like. But the cool thing is there's a baby artichoke growing right next to it. So if this totally dies back, which it might, I got the little guy there ready to go, or I could transplant him. My transplanted fig tree, I was worried about if this fig tree was going to make the transplant from the container to the ground, but as you can see, it's really nice, and I think this will be a nice location. We've moved through the arch. Now, speaking of this arch, I got a third arch that I want to put in the middle here. And then what I'm thinking of doing is running some half-inch electrical conduit, making a little overhead frame with the wire, and I could make a tunnel. I can have some plants grow over it and make a tunnel. Kind of a interesting thought project here. But getting back to the vegetables, you can see that I have the trees doing well. And here's all my frames, right? So I took all my frames and I made frame row, right? Trellis row. And with that, as you can see, cucumbers are going, this is right from the ground, right into the wood chips kind of thing, the back to Eden garden method. And then I have some containers, so I'm doing kind of a hybrid. So I got some containers here, but they're not full of dirt. They got perlite down at the bottom and keeps like a water reservoir. So the roots go down into that. Cucumbers back here are trellising up nicely like I wanted them to, or what I expected them to. And so here's the cucumbers on this side. And here's some pole beans. So they're growing nicely. They'll need some watering here, I think, but it's probably, the wood chip's probably keeping the dirt moist. Some tomatoes, and of course the trees here. The artichoke, the little artichoke, ooh, that's a big artichoke, could be picked. The zucchini is just doing really well. They love the sun, right? Those big leaves. Zucchini loves the sun. It's like a solar panel, right? Flowers here, I picked a few. There's maybe some coming. Nothing to be picked yet. The cardoon, isn't that a pretty plant? I mean, not only can you technically eat these stalks like a celery stick, it almost looks like, but as you back up and you take in the whole plant, the bees and hummingbirds, everybody loves that big purple flower. What a fun plant that is, and so big. The tomatoes in the container. Back here, with a little bit of shade, is ghost peppers. And they seem to grow well in a little bit of shade, and so I got them here on the back. They get a lot of sun though, because the afternoon sun, evening sun, that hits it here. Now my tomatoes are doing really great. Now they're getting big, so I got to trellis them up. So I got to do that. But they're doing good in those containers, and they all got the watering, so the irrigation kicks off. So that's really good. Here's my Egyptian walking onions that are doing good back here, I guess. Seem to be all right. Now the raspberries are doing really good. Now the interesting thing is they're yellow raspberries that I put back here originally because I like them, the Queen Anne. And then I bought more. And what did I get? Red raspberries. So now I think they might be making a hybrid and make pink raspberries. I don't know. But they're doing really well. And here's another thought. With them up against the back fence, it's hard to get around, like a 360. If I would have had more forethought, the berries should have been over here, because that way you can go around it and trellis them up better than being against the fence. And plants would be better here, because then you can reach in and get them. So lesson learned on that. I could transplant them, but oh, I hate to lose the starts. Strawberries. This was the strawberry bed, and last year it was full of strawberry plants, and they all died. They got a disease and they turned brown and died, unfortunately. It's sad. Tomatoes here. Look, I got tomatoes ready to go. They're pink, and it's like, ooh, do I pick them early? No, I want to pick them when they're ripe, but then is somebody going to eat them? Boy, that's the thing. Yeah, I got to get them before the rabbits do. It's all timing. But the tomatoes are doing great right here. So is this cucumber plant. Look at the size of the leaves. And they're healthy. No bugs. No bugs, thank goodness. And as I keep moving, here are some little extraneous plants that I had, pepper plants and bush beans, and they're growing well too. Now, the blackberries, holy smokes, people. They like blackberries back here. And again, I can't get around the blackberries. And here they're growing tall. The new growth, I'm going to have to cut this. I want to cut this so it stops growing tall. And I'm going to transplant those so that we'll have them maybe next year. And maybe what I need to do, and this blackberry plant is nice, but it's got the thorns. But look at the blackberries. Look at how big they are. Oh my God. I mean, they're the size of your thumb. And they're all over. Delicious. But they're picky. It's the thorns. These thorns kill you. At the time when I got these, and I keep eating them, it's all they had of this variety was ones with thorns. So I had to get them. Well, that's another good one. But they make these that are thornless and are just as good. So at the end of the season, do I pull that up? Maybe. Because if you can't get to them, what's the purpose if you're going to be picked to death? And like I say, would the blackberries be better here in the middle? Because then I can do a 360 around it and pick on all sides. Where right now, if something's on the other side, I can't get to it. So maybe that's what I do. Blackberries here, blackberries here. Maybe next year I put them all here. And so now I have blackberry row. And then there I can put some plants. And then I'll be able to get to them easier. More work. If I only would have known what to do beforehand. But everything is growing well. And that's nice to see. And we will give you some more tour here in a minute. Check back with us.